Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and you guys already know what it is. It's What If Deku Was Deadshot Part 4. Yeah, so let's just jump into it. Where we left off last time is after the final exams, heading into the forest training. So they're on the bus, they get dumped out, they get to the drop-off point, they dump them out into the woods. And Deku was kind of expecting this, because it's a hero school, and they wouldn't just like drive them. They're gonna test them somehow. Oh, and before we go any further, happy 4th of July, guys, because I'm pretty sure this is going up on 4th of July. But yeah, I just wanted to say happy 4th of July to those who celebrate 4th of July. And that's just it. I just wanted to do that since this is properly going up on 4th of July. But yeah, the forest thing, Deku just goes throughout it, just wrecking these monsters with all the kinds of ammo he's got. And yeah, basically for the training thing, basically all that Deku does is work on his aim and train with others. The villains get there. Deku takes out Spinner. Like, when the villains get there, Deku takes out Spinner first, because cut off the weak links. So let's say he takes out Spinner and Mag, I think that their name was. Yeah, he took those two out with a shot. One shot, of course. Then let's say his little radar he has, the part of his quirk, he's on it, and he like zooms out on it. He gets like a full map perception of the which I'm gonna say you can do, of the whole surrounding area, and he sees this little blue dot right next to a red dot, and he runs over there, and when he gets there, Muscular is right about to kill Koda. But Deku's like, nah, we can't have that going, my guy. He shoots a taser bullet right in the back of Muscular's neck. Oh, and if you guys are wondering why I'm giving Deku so many different types of ammo, because if he only had regular ones and explosive rounds, that would be a pretty boring series, don't you think? Don't you think? Yes. So, Muscular's down, Spinner's down, Mag is down, Deku took out Compressed, Toga got taken out by Sue and by Froppy and Uraraka. But let's say they do get Bakugo and escape for plot. And between the attack and between the training camp and the hero's attack on the villains, Deku's like on top of a building, because why not? And he gets a little ping on his phone from an old contact. Yeah, let's say he gets a call. Deku picks up the call. He's like, what do you want? And then his receiver, the guy who he used to get his jobs from, his jobs from, he said, there's a new job, and I got a job for you. And Deku's like, I don't do that anymore. And then what the person says is that, but you do want revenge on the people who killed your family. And then Deku's like, he gets defensive. He's like, how do you know about that? And then what the person on the other side, the guy on the phone, says is that all for one, those goons that killed Deku's family in the beginning were hired by All for One to kill the guys who stole money from them. And All Might was in pursuit of these two, but All Might couldn't save them in time, stopping them in time getting your family killed, because All Might wasn't good at his job. So basically, All for One hired the goons that accidentally killed Izuku's family, and All Might is to blame because All Might was too slow to catch these these goons before they killed Izuku's family on accident. And Deku's standing there, complete silence. And he turns serious. He's like, okay. And then the guy on the phone is like, this will be $100,000. And Deku's like, nah, this one's for free. This one is for free. And the guy on the phone's a little surprised by this because Deku always wants money for it. He never does one for free. And then he let's say he has a lot of backup phones, so he takes the cell phone and crushes it and throws it out the building. No traces tying him back to what he's about to do. During the big heroes attack the villains, the big all-for-one versus All Might fight. And Deku is perched up high on a building. And he's not in his suit, so, people can't find out who it is. But he has his rifle. And he's got the shot. And he's waiting for the right moment to pull this trigger. And he's thinking in his head. He's tapping his finger on the trigger. He's got his trigger finger is fidgeting because he's so anxious. And he's just basically grazing, and he's like, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pulls the trigger. A bullet goes through All-for-One's head, and then bounces off, ricochets off the ground into All Might's head. Deku just killed All-for-One, the #1 villain, and All Might, the #1 hero. And no one's gonna find out it was him, because let's say he was wearing a ski mask, he was far out of sight, so the cameras couldn't catch him. No pros could get to him in time before he left. He was wearing gloves, so the gun didn't have fingerprints on him. He covered his tracks, and he double-coated his tracks because no way. He even got rid of the phone that the call happened on. So there's no evidence tying him back. He even made a dummy. He made a dummy at his dorm, or at his house, because so they can't accuse him of not being home. He double coated his tracks. There's no way they're finding out that it was him, because he was wearing a mask, a hoodie, and he was way out of sight for any cameras or pros to get to him before he got away. And then the next night, he takes the gun, he burns it. Yeah, he burns it, and then he compresses it into a cube of trash, and throws it in the ocean. No one is finding this. They're not gonna find the weapon, the person, and there's no way they can tie it back to him. He makes sure there's no way they're tying this back. But after the tragic loss of All Might. I'm not crazy, I swear. It's just hilarious that I just killed off All Might. So season 4. So Deku's going through they start doing work studies at they start doing work studies, and Deku is going through them. And he gets one from Night Eye because Night Eye is interested in him. Like, how does he always hit his shot? Like, is it skill? Is it his quirk? Is it both? He's got questions. So, yeah. And, he gets to Night Eye's office, and Night Eye wants to know what his schoolwork is. And basically Deku tells Night Eye what his quirk is. It's called Hunter. Basically, he has a radar at the bottom of his eyesight. He can basically ping enemies and allies, but he can also make it to where any shot he shoots out of his gun won't miss. And Night Eye is very interested in this quirk because it's a very unique quirk. He's never heard of one like this. And yeah. Yeah, so yeah. So let's say he pits Mirio against Deku. And Deku trying his very hardest to try to beat Mirio, but his permeation is making that very, very difficult. But let's say he had something up his sleeve. He had a trick up his sleeve. He asked Nezu to help him make a special kind of bullet for people specifically like Mirio over here. He's got a shifter bullet, a phase bullet. Basically, it counteracts Mirio's quirk. It's not a quirk erasing bullet, but it vibrates at the frequency that Mirio is vibrating at to move through objects. Yeah, I think I said that right. So Mirio, after a long fight, Deku actually finally beat Mirio, and Deku is like exhausted because that's probably the hardest fight that he's fought in a while. And yeah. And Night Eye is, now let's say it's a draw. He didn't completely beat Mirio, but they kind of both passed out from exhaustion. That's how hard the fight was. And these were like rubber coated vibrator bullets. Phase bullets. Yeah, I'm gonna call them that. So, just a couple bruises. Nothing too serious. And, yeah. So, Deku is out on patrol. Because he can do it by himself. Because he was a vigilante turned hero. So, I'm pretty sure they give him enough responsibility to go on patrol by himself. And, he's walking down the sidewalk. He's walking down the street. And he passes in front of an alleyway. And, this little girl bumps into him as he walks in front of the alleyway. This little girl comes running out of it and accidentally bumps into Deku. Deku kneels down to check on her if she's okay. Because, he's a bro hero and he cares about kids. Because, when he was a kid, all of his his whole family got slaughtered. And then he sees Overhaul coming up behind Eri, and Deku tells Eri to get behind him, and that he's gonna deal with this. And then he points his gun gauntlets at him, and Deku's like, "You." And let's say Deku got a job recommendation for him, and Deku takes out Overhaul with a couple shots, 2 shots to the knees, 2 shots to the arms. Overhaul's down. Pros are called. Overhaul's taken into custody. Well, that's going to be it for this What If, guys. Make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next part. Peace.